Hey amigos, how you guys doing? Hope all is well. Here goes nothing. Um, Today I guess I'm gonna talk about um, I had my biggest loss about a month ago, and I'm just uh, gonna go over some lessons and thought process, more psychology than anything. I asked on Twitter if anybody wants me to talk about it. Originally, I didn't want to talk about it, and it has nothing to do with the hiding aspect. It has to do with everybody's a human being, and when we go through, when I go through an emotional roller coaster, one of the worst things that I need that I think would negatively hurt me is other people's image perspective. And it really got me thinking over the past few days, a few weeks. Um, I know I help out a few people whenever I can, doing one-on-ones, and a lot of people struggle with risk management, losses, and disobeying rules, and I do too. I'm probably pretty bad at it, and it actually helps me to those one-on-ones as well. Um, but I think when I speak to a lot of other traders, it happens to them as well. And I'm very blessed to be making these videos because I want to, not because I need to, not because I have a chat room or something like that. So I had to, when I took my biggest loss, which I thought was pretty bad, about a month ago, and then I had another one which was like my biggest loss of my career, in like the 11 years, 12 years that I've been trading. It was mid six figures, and yeah, I'm just gonna go through it. I needed to get my head together, and the last thing I needed was to post and get other people's opinion and sympathy. It's not, when you get to a certain level, it's not really, you don't really want that. Like, I want to be trading. I want to continue to progress. So I needed to find what I have to do, what I need to do, rather than, I hate to say it, rather than giving a shit what other people think. So it's definitely a mind fuck, and I figured I want to share. I'm at a point where I want to share. I learned some cool things. I went through some really fucked up things. So that's what the video is gonna be about. Stay tuned. I hope it benefits you. And what I also did is, low key, I'm very proud of this thumbnail. You guys might think I'm a probably nobody thinks I'm a good editor, but what I did is, yeah, I made this in Paint, and I was like, shit, I can relate. I was thinking, so this all of my videos, of course, are one take go. It's never a thing. So yeah, that's my thumbnail, and I'm proud of that. And then I also posted just like an hour ago or something, and I was like, hey, should I talk about my loss? And then I was like, also, what questions do you guys have? And I had some really nice ass questions. So I think the questions are really good, really deep, and I'm also gonna maybe take my time answering them and maybe reflect on it. Um, so I'm doing it in a separate part. Today I just want to go over what happened, some of the crap that I went through. Um, I'm gonna try to start from the chronological order of what happened. So one of the losses that it started with was actually UONE. And of course, like a short seller, it's always on the squeezes, right? Um, a lot of you guys know me, and I'm a fundamental short seller. And yeah, this is I avoided it on the first day. So this was my first loss. So I had two losses, and which is very heart wrenching. So the first loss was just shy of six figures, just barely shy, which really freaking stung. And I know I don't talk about my P&L and L and things like that, and I purposely don't do that because I don't want impact, psychology, P&L to affect me or mindset. So I just keep that out of the loop. I don't think it benefits. So I keep my personal life and P&L, all that stuff, um, personal. But these losses that I've taken, the mid six figures and the six figures, that's a lot to me. To put it into perspective, I've been doing really well at the start of this year. I gave back quite a bit and more. I gave back uh, probably this year and a bit more. Anyway, um, these losses are really big. They took a trauma effect. Trauma. We'll talk about it. But my point is, I'm not one of these amazing, crazy seven-figure traders. But, so these, I'm making this video to help you guys and maybe help myself and the mindset. So I avoided this on the first day. So this is my just the one that. So I had one loss that was below six figures, and the other loss was like mid six figure. Both of them freaking stung. And what? So this is where it started from. I'd avoided the first day. It didn't have dilution. Didn't have things going on. The second day it comes in, and I'm like, man, it's coming to the resistance. It's looking heavy. I had a 34 or 34.80, 34.90 short average this day, and it washes all the way down to 25. Or I don't know. After hours, I think it probably went lower, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. So what I did is I was like, you know what? I'm gonna grow some balls. And I don't. Hindsight's 2020, but looking back at this, um, I don't know if I fully regret it. This one, I obeyed my plan, my execution, everything I think was decent, was good. Of course, I ate crap on the loss, but like I had a 34, 34.80, 30, like 35 short average, 34.80, and it closes like $10 in the money. And often, what I do, especially because it costs me arm and a leg to swing short, I take half off profit, etc. But I was like, this time, you know what? I had a good size. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna grow some balls, and I'm gonna hold my short because I know uh, the float rotation play. It was one of my bread and butters. Float rotation play. It couldn't break the high. It looked heavy, and I was like, it's gonna be done. So deep in the money, held some. The next day I woke up and I'm like, what the frick is going on? And in here, um, I was short this and I was short UNAEK. So it's the same stock. For any fundamental traders, they know the difference, but I don't want to go into that. But they're the same stock. This was I believe the warrants on it, if I remember correctly. No, it's the warrants or the different class A common stock. So it's the same stuff basically. The other one's thicker. I was short both, very heavy, and then I got squeezed the hell out. Um Pre-market, I think pre-market it went high. So how did it happen? Um, this is what happened. Then would I have done it again? Honestly, yeah, I would do this again. But it's not an A plus plus. So ideally, I want it. I want to be involved in things that have dilution. So as you guys know, if by my description, I'm a fundamental short seller or a dilution play, and that's it. So this didn't have a lot of dilution from what I remember. This was in 6th, 8. I don't know. Was that last month or something? I don't know. I don't know what month it is. But yeah, this was the figure loss. And what I did after that is like, you know what? I was like, don't give a shit about it. Don't give a shit about the loss. It sucks. But truth be told, as some of you guys have followed and listened to other videos, um, I got an office space about 10 months ago, 11 months ago, and things are freaking amazing. Um, I don't really like to get personal, but I was doing really well. This loss at that point did not mean much to me. it was a healthy chunk, but like I was like, you know what, this fucking sucks. It's horrible. It's shit. But I know I could make it back within a month or so. I was doing well for my own standard, and ever since I got the office, things have been skyrocketing, and I'm very blessed, very lucky. Um, so what I did is I try not to care about this. I try not to. So one of the things is the rule of thumb is you shouldn't care about the loss. You learn from it. You don't just say, oh, nothing happened, blah blah blah. You learn from it. You want to continue progress, but you don't try to recover your loss. And the next day after, I mean, it stung, but I held a really strong position after. I was not revenge trading at all. I think on this day in here, I think I had a 550. I think on this day, the day after, I don't remember. It was either this day or this day. I shorted a lot of this. This was with my swing account, and I made. I'm really trying to refrain from giving numbers because I try not to, but I made a large percent of it back, and I was not. I had zero intentions of making it back, but the opportunity was there, the mindset was there. I was just adding to winner, and it was working. It might have been this day, or it might have been 618. You know what? I could check. So I got squeezed on this day, 619. So it must have been on this 622. 622. So what? Okay, so 619, 622. So I shorted a lot, and I think I covered at. Oh, I swung it. Yeah, yeah. I shorted a lot because I had the. My broker had, I think, 600,000 shares of this, and I shorted a very good chunk, and I think I covered into 250s. Yeah, I was impressed by that. I swung this, and I made a recoup it. So this is the loss that's there. I keep repeating myself. Things goes on, thing progresses. I'm looking back and I'm reflecting. So the purpose of the video is also to remind me what the hell happened, how I can recoup. So what I did my best not to care about the loss, but that was a big loss for me. That was prior to this loss, the mid six figures. That was my career's biggest loss, and what happened is I tried not to care, but I think subconsciously it kept creeping up, and actually, the funny part is, which is the fucking worst. Oh man, this shattered the shit out of me. Within a short period of time, I know myself. I didn't try to recoup the money at all. But the fucking beautiful thing is that I I recouped that loss. I think I was there 70-80% of the time there within a week or 2 weeks, just because the market was really working out, um, and I know for a fact that I wasn't focusing on recovering. So and I remember that day where I was like, fuck. I was like, I recouped 70-80% of it in a very, very short span of time. And I was like, if only I made a little more. If only I made a little more, I would have things a little better. And that was in my head. And that fucked up. So what happened after that? And one of the other things I was doing, I was shorting calls, and I don't regret it. It's one of my plays for dilution stocks, and I was doing really well. So then now this loss for Kodak. I'm trying not to make the video too long because I know everybody complained and hated it. So this is the stock, yeah. So $11 I short once the backside is in. Uh, Let me see. so here. I see this being heavy. I started shorting here. This is 15 minute. I should make this 5 minute. Let's see if this is gonna work. 90 days. That's the time frame I'm on usually. Okay. So this is the day. Yeah, I see it being heavy here. I take a starter. Oh, this. Oh boy, buckle up, amigos. This is bring me back fucking nightmares. This is the first time I've looked at this fucking chart. Oh boy, fucking PTSD. Fuck. Okay. All right, let's do this. I don't know if I should do another video. Nah. I'm gonna do it combined into one. This might go a bit longer. I apologize. So this is where I started. It pushes, it gets heavy. Um, the stock here had convertibles, which I thought they were gonna dilute. This is a company that's, Kodak, doesn't have name reputation. This is before Trump announced it, and I was pretty sure that they were gonna using convertibles because there's full rotation and then overheads being dumped. It wasn't a lot. I think it was like 2 million, something like that, if I remember correctly. Um, 2 million shares, and yeah, it should have not mattered that much, but you gotta everything in from my trading, it's proportionate. So in here, 1090s, 1085, it's pushing, it's looking heavy. I take a starter, doesn't work out, goes down, and I'm like, yay. In here, I was risking like 10, 20 cents, and then it washes $1, so I'm up like 10 RR in that position. And then it pushes here, I add to tier 2, I let it wash down, and I think I covered some of my calls. I was shorting the calls because there were no allocates, and then I covered a letter here, or I think here, and then it got here. I was like, okay, you know what? I want to see what it looks like. Gets here, around this area. I'm like, okay, and then I start hitting the bid and the call option. So it closes weak, and I think I was shorting the 8 calls. I think it was. So at this point, even at this point, I was shorting the 8 calls or 10 calls. I don't remember. So by the time it gets here, the stock is like way in the money, and of course, I uh, I keep it as a swing. It works out. I have this. This is an A plus plus. This is one could argue, well, the convertibles were there for a long time. It was not going to be exercised. From my experience, my knowledge, and the amount of times that I've been trading, which could be wrong, I would for sure take this trade. Float rotation, looking weak, has potential overhead. I would take this short a lot. Like, I would retake this short for sure. And this is the part that's giving me fucking PTSD as I scroll to the right. So, where is it? So, a lot of my loss here was because of ego. What's going on here? Okay. So here. So Trump made an announcement, and then because I was shorting, this is why. I was shorting it at 1080s or something, and I hear 9. Um, what I do is Trump mentions this in one of the news conference, and I just went long my full size. So the way I risk manage my option calls is I just go long the equity, and I went long full size at around 820, maybe even 840. I don't remember, but it was like one shot, boom. And to be honest with you, it felt pretty fucking good. The reason why it felt good is I've always fucked up the hedges, and it's supposed to be, right? It's a hedge. You're supposed to lose. You're not supposed to lose money, but it's normal to lose money on a hedge. And then I was like, fuck yeah, I finally caught something. And I was like, you know what? I'm actually gonna make money on this trade. Subconsciously, a little bit of ego. I was like, because I was actually shorting. I was short quite heavy, because this is my bread and butter. I was pushing myself, so I was doing well, and then I was constantly pushing myself. Of course, in my swing position, I have 20 positions or something like that. So it wasn't in my head. I didn't think it was a big position. The range was not like, the risk here was, if it was open market, it would have been break even, whatever, or above here. So here I go full size in one hit, and I always scale in. If you guys see my chart, I always scale in. Um, and then I was like, shit, I'm gonna make money on my option, and I'm gonna make money on my hedge. That's pretty fucking badass. So I was like, okay. And then I let it roll. What I tried to do, because I'm feeling like a badass, I sold some, I think, either here or here. I try to basically make more than the range because of the ego mindset that I had. I was like when I hedged here, that's basically saying I covered my position, right? So I'm short from 1080. Trump goes, and I'm like, oh, now I've made money on my hedge. Like I'm protected, but I think there was a point that I think I was like more than delta hedge. So basically, there was a point that I was like positive hedge. Like I was a bit long. I don't remember where it was, but what I tried to do is I tried to cut, try to buy dip, and I think that's where I went long. But I was trying to make more than the range because I was like, eventually I want to get rid of the hedge in case this is the high, people get squeezed, it's blah blah blah. So yeah, I go into the next day with the hedge on. I didn't do a good job. I think it was like I less than whatever, but I was working with it. So the next day after, I got rid some of my hedge down here. So my plan was, if this goes to parabol, no, I think I got some of it here, and then I might went long. I don't remember. So the plan was, if this goes to $20, if it opens to 20, it's gonna fade, because yesterday was $8 and $14, $20. From $8 to $21, the longs are gonna want to take their profit. Somebody that was like stuck, they're like, oh my god, thank God, this is a miracle, blah blah blah. I just double triple my money. So what I do is I get rid of my hedge here. So when it comes up here, I get rid of it at 19, and then I fucking froze. And actually, I didn't freeze. What I did is I looked at the option realm. The option realm, I had. I don't remember if I had. I had a 51 or 100 something contracts, and I tried to. At this point, I think I tried to. I was debating between getting out because it came here above, and I was like, oh shit. So if you execute that on bid, the spread was $1. So that would have by itself would have been like a 10K loss just in the spread. Forget the fact that I'm like really massively red from. So the PNL, like, it's always red when you're hedging. Um, so I didn't want to pay the spread, and then for whatever reason, I couldn't long the equity. I just couldn't get myself, because in the past I've taken big losses. So I fucked up. I froze. It halted on me, and then it came down, and I was like, what the fuck? And the second time it halted, and then I was like, fuck this. Like, not fuck, well, yeah. And I think I got out at 34, 36 after second, third halt. Because I was like, this is unrealistic. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And in my head, I was also. The problem with this is, in my swing account, I have really big positions. Like, I have multiple positions, so I didn't know. Well, like, you see a big red. I was like down here. I think somewhere I was 6-figure down in this position, and no, it must have been somewhere. Yeah, somewhere around here. So I was like 6-figure down, and then in my head I'm like, well, I also gotta look at the hedge. Like, so many thoughts are going in my fucking head. But of course, when I de-risked the hedge, the right move was to cut it here. And the brain couldn't fucking comprehend, to be honest with you, that um, I need to get out. And I was actually very fucking close. Even here, actually, I was very close to being like, you know what, just fuck it. Because at this point, believe it or not, because the way how hard the contract call premium fell, it was like right my break even. Because I think I was short from 11, or I don't know if it was break even including the hedge or something, or I don't remember what it was. But I remember tried getting. Oh, and actually, oh, okay. So here's the fucked up part. I remember now. So I tried covering, and I was like, "Fuck that! Why are you covering?" So I got rid of my long at 19, somewhere around this. So I waited until all this wash happened. I was like, "Okay, this is weak. It halted down. Come back up." I got rid of my long, so now I'm effectively net short, and position's pretty big, red down, but I have a hedge. And then I added to my contract. Yeah, this is why I think I don't know the exact amount. I added to my freaking position, and it froze on me. And in here, I was just like, "What the fuck?" I ended up cutting it at 37, and to be very blunt and honest with you guys, it was just like I was like, "No fucking way! I can't blow my account." The loss was beyond fucking belief. And one moment, I know it's a deep, long video, but one moment was like, is this gonna be the fucking trade that lets you blow up? And I remember a lot of there's so much benefit to listening to some of the guys like Nate and Mike Katz, um, that they say, I don't know who it was. It was one of the guys that I look up to, and they're like, no one fucking trade is worth blowing up on. So just cut your losses. It was either them or it was one of the guys that I work with there, Merrill Lynch, and Goldman Sachs. No, it was somebody in the trader community world. In the videos, nothing is worth blowing up. So I fucking cut it. I froze 2-3 times. The other thing was it was halting on really low volume, and I know these were shorts blowing up. These were shorts blowing up because look at the volume. It was like weaker and weaker. In theory, it shouldn't do that unless this is forced algo buying people, and that's what it was. Like a lot of people are quiet, but I would not be surprised if like I know another guy lost $1.5 million, and he was just one. There was like people lost a lot of money on this, I guess, including me. So that's what this was, and I think, oh, so how I felt. I've become very numb, so I'm gonna quickly. The video is really long. I apologize, but fuck it. It is what it is. There's not many people that watch this anyway. Any people that watch it, I hope it's beneficial. Um, I have this, like I remember reading from my cats and things like that. As a trader, and this is some deep shit. So you learn to become numb as a trader, which is pretty fucked up. Like it has issues. I think every short seller in our realm could benefit from having a psychology talk. Not that there's nothing wrong with it. There's negative connotations towards it, but to become a good trader, from my experience, you have to not let things affect you. When you don't let things affect you, basically means you're like semi-numb. I mean, I've been trading for 10, 12 years, but still think maybe it's a premature thought process. I'm not sure. But I do know from guys like Mike Katz that have been trading 20 years. He's one of the owners of 7 Points Capital. There's a fine balance between not giving a shit to just executing like a robot, like things work out. So, okay, I took a really big nasty loss, this day. It was a fucking, for me it's massive. Mid six figure is fuckloads of money for me. That's a lot. And but it didn't register. So now I'm talking about the psychology aspect. And what I did actually, I avoided this, and of course, it's fucking heart wrenching. It like eats your fucking guts because in in this, okay, it's like 37 is good, but in the option world, I like close to top ticked. Like in the option world, it looked like I top ticked here, and this fell down there. Here you are taking a mid fucking six figure loss. Excuse my language. And then all of a sudden, you see a stock go from $60 down to $25 within 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. I don't know, 15 minutes. It's fucking heartbreaking because you took a mid six figure loss and then it went down. And I had that thought. And then I was like, you know what I told myself? I was like, you're a fucking idiot. Like I told myself, I was like, yo, you're a pretty dumb person for it doesn't matter what the stock does. The issue here was risk management. And that shit will come and bite you no matter what. So who cares? Okay, so even if I top ticket walked it, that doesn't matter. That's hindsight shit. It's like, oh, I wish I would have held it. No, it's stupid. Risk management was the issue. I froze up. I fuck up. And it doesn't happen often. And back in the day, I would act to loser. I have to be thankful. I've cut that habit. I still have risk management issues. Alhamdulillah, it's not a lot. It's things that sucks. I don't want to hear any of the freaking bullshit advice or unless it's super duper good. But a lot of times that's why I don't. Like we all have our own demons. This is one of mine that I gotta work on. I gotta improve it. So yeah, it sucks. And at first I was like, what the fuck? In talking about emotions, I was like, I should have held it, but no, I shouldn't have fucking held it. It doesn't matter what the price action did. Would have, but at this point, I didn't give a shit. Even though, so what I kind of felt, looking back, I felt scared, weird, is I know how much mid six figure loss means to me, and it's a lot. It's like, if I don't include this year's gains and stuff, it's pretty freaking massive, massive for me. Um, but it didn't affect me, which to be honest is scary. So I went long here. And I made like probably just like um, just start of five figures. Like just I don't want to say the numbers. I never tried to. So I went long here, but I was performing really well, really freaking well, and I was surprised because I'm like I don't give a shit. I wasn't revenge trading. I wasn't nothing. I was like, this is bouncing. I remember this from LFIN, this whatever, all this gap, the shorts. This is shorts hurting. The people that didn't blow up, they're like, thank fucking God, oh my God, I'm a cover. I knew they were covering, and I knew the longs were like, okay, bye. So yeah, I went here and then I shorted here and then I covered here. So here I made a good chunk. Actually, I took a nasty loss here. But in return, this day right after, I made five figures, and I was like, oh, it's whatever. And then I did a really good job. I cut the risk management here, so I drew a triangle. I cut it here. So that day, I didn't feel anything. And I'm so fucking grateful for having a close group of friends. Shout out to D-Man. Um, very good guy, psychologist. I know he doesn't care, but like he's a 7 8 figure trader, and fuck money. It's not about, I'm not mentioning that to say that, but it's more like who he is as a person and how kind-hearted he is. It's really cool. And there's a lot of guys like that, which is very surprised, and I'm very blessed to be around him. Tom Kelly is another very nice guy, and a few of the other guys out. Shout out to the in the room, No Fear, Roy, and anybody else that I can't think of names, so I don't want to get into that. Okay, so that's what it was. Didn't feel anything that day. Executed well. Everything worked out, and I think I shorted here down again, and I covered here. I, yeah, I performed really well on this one. Um, and nothing clicked in, and then I showed it the next day. So what happened? When did I feel long video? I apologize. When did this emotion psychology kick in, and what happened? Um, oh shit, I remember something else. It, you know what? The video is gonna be long. I'm trying to speed it up, but fuck that. It's gonna take its time. I apologize for swearing. Um, it didn't register how much I lost and how much that money meant to me, because one, I've always trained myself not to care about P&L. I hide my P&L. I don't talk about P&L. I don't like, during the trading. I don't care about it. Um, but when it actually hit me, to be honest, was when I saw my bank account. So now we're getting into the psychology realm. For 2 3 years, I had six figures sitting at the bank, and it was always uh, like I was. It's a good problem to have, and I was having discussions with some of the guys in a room. They own like 10 20 restaurants, 30 40, and they have bar, like they own a few businesses, quite a few guys. So it was a good problem to have, and I uh, I had the money sitting in the checking account, and it was bugging me because money sitting still is not good. It's not generating money. So what I did is I put that money into my trading account to make a long-term account, to make a swing long. When the market washed, I bought a bunch of Microsoft and Google and Facebook and stuff. Very small, only 1/10 because I was waiting for a pullback and it never came. So yeah, it really hit me when I went to my bank account, and then I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "The money's gone." Like I saw my bank account, and I'm like, "This." By the way, I think after it literally took like 8 to 10 to 12 to 15 hours or something like that. Like I went from my trading account, I went to my checking account, my personal bank account, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like I got like barely anything left. And then I look at my trading account, and because it's in USD, I convert into the Canadian, and I'm just like, I have nothing left almost. Not nothing in the sense that I don't. And yeah, it was pretty fucking. It was then when the emotion kicked in, and I was like started like it's like delayed effect syndrome, whatever the heck you want to use the word, but it was a bit traumatic. It was, the emotions were there, uh, and I did not. The emotions were there, and what happened. So there's something else that I want to mention but I don't want to go. But I'll finish the thought. Um, Eventually, I realized how much I need and things like that. I calmed my head down. It took me like 2 3 hours, but I've been trading for a long time. So if you feel more stressed out, acknowledge it. Acknowledge that it's shitty. But for me, I am. I live a very conservative lifestyle. I love to call myself poor. I live a very poor lifestyle. Poor, not in like whatever. It's like I'm not a materialistic person. I don't need money. I don't have anything. Uh, so, and my intentions were to donate and stuff, but that's another day's topic. Um, so yeah, I always, what helped me, like after 4 or 5 hours. Of course, it's still no, actually, it doesn't sting. It fucking doesn't sting. Um, what really helped me calm my head down is after 4 or 5 hours of like first I was panicking a little, feeling weird. Is I was like, there's okay. Okay, I want to bring up a topic, but I know I have ADHD, so I go back and forth. Uh, there's conversations that I have people that are not traders, and sometimes they bash me out because I have my own little journal. I don't mention P&Ls and stuff, and then the people are like, "Why the fuck are you mentioning this? You're showing off, blah blah blah," and like agitated me, but I try to keep it cool. And the guy's like, "People don't have money for rent, and here you are bragging about your loss." It's just a personal notes for myself and social media. So down the road, I journal, um, and I always told them nicely. I was like, "Man, you know, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I said it in a nice way, but uh, like I know for me to live a normal, content lifestyle, I don't need more than 100 to $150,000 Canadian, and without being egotistical, I know from my stats, and I've been trading for a while. You know, it's Alhamdulillah, it's very blessed. I'm very happy, very content. Um, that's relatively easy to do. No, I don't want to say easy to do. I may go broke and I may have nothing, but you know, my return in terms of from January till now, it's gonna sound crazy, and I know some of the others. I'm very happy that I'm surrounded by really, really good traders. I was making 1,600% from January till now. I was up 1,600%. I was withdrawing money and all that stuff in my day trade, my swing account. I kept the size bigger, which is where I took the loss. So making $150,000 in a place where like that is something that I could make in a very short period of time, right? Like you guys get the gist idea. It's not. I can make that in a month or two, you know. So just putting that perspective, like how much I need to live a good lifestyle, um, given that who I am, how I am, it really calmed me down. And I was like, you know what? It fucking sucks. It sucks. It's horrible, but this is a life lesson. Um, Learn from it. What are you gonna take away from it? Uh, and but yeah, after that, it didn't bother me, because like my honest my true intentions. This is not something I mention. I only mention some of the guys that I'm very close with, like Titus and um, some of the other guys. Is uh, like I was gonna like this was my biggest year that I've had in my trading career, and I had full intentions of donating a lot of it. I was gonna open up a charity, so because I don't need a lot, and I know. So yeah, the loss did not bother me, and I don't think it bothers. It's in my head, of course. It fucks with me because like not including this year's gains, like in the past year's gains, that would have taken me like fucking ages. Like before trading, it would have taken me my whole fucking life. Like it was a lot. Like mid six figures is a lot, but now my lifestyle and thankfully my capability, I know to be very straight. Like I know I can make 150 a year with a really relatively lower amount of money, and on top of that, even this loss, if I really put my mind to it and I don't care about the loss, and I actually genuinely think I could recover it. It will take me a while. I try not to think about the time and things like that. So the video is really, really long. Highly doubt anybody made it this far, but the quote unquote for me the golden nuggets are that I've learned from this is from having a conversation with Brian Lee. I've talked to him in the past in a while and really jumped on the voice. And I always used to take out wire out money, uh, and we always had a different RR because everybody in the trading community is like I made 2R, 3R, and my R's are like, I made 20, 50R, and then people are effing weird, man. And I don't blame them. They're like, this guy's full of shit. How's he making 70R? Everybody's. My R is fixed. It wasn't based on my portfolio because I would wire out money. I don't. I try not. I do my best. Of course, we're all affected by people, but I try not to give a shit about other people's perspective. And sometimes people that say that they are internally affected. So maybe I am. I don't know. But so we had a so prior to the conversation with Brian, I did used to wire out, and I used to be like, when I hit this much, I'll just take it out. But it wasn't at a consistent manner. It was it was more like it's like I'll take out at the end of the month whatever I make or how much I make, and then as I was progressing, it was something. And Brian, so one of the things that came out from this is, in my account, I should have 20 days of max loss. So maximum loss is amazing. Oh, the other thing. So this loss, I would like to think it would have never happened in my day trade account. In my swing trading account, with Interactive Brokers, my risk management was, I had basically capped. I usually capped 60 to 80% of my buying power is capped. So anytime if a position is extremely red on me, of course I try not to let it do that, but that's one of my risk managements. If it gets to that percent, it's supposed to liquidate my positions. So I meet the margin requirement, and I'm content with that, and I've set it up like that because the swing trading account was a bigger account that I wasn't very much used to. So that's how I obeyed my risk, and it's a very good metric too. Every day I would wake up, I would have like quote unquote passive income from shorts. It's like 90% short, 95%. But what apparently in option realm, if the trade goes against you, they don't liquidate your position. So that's why I was flabbergasted. Um, yeah, going off topic here. Shit, what was the point? I forgot. What was the point that I was making? ADHD. Yeah, it's holy shit. For almost 48 minutes. Nobody's gonna watch it. Maybe I will watch it when I'm go down the road. Oh yeah. So the lessons for me is, and thank you, Brian Lee. I appreciate that. Um, it was a very cool concept. So basically, only have your account as big as 20 max loss days. So max loss day for me, I have two-tier max losses. One in my day trade, it's supposed to be 1.5 day average win. So anytime I'm down 1.5 R, 1.5 average days winner, the account liquidates me. And then you don't go and you don't tell the broker or whoever, be like, hey, remove my day trade max loss. No, my tier 2, and I've purposely set it. The first one's really low. The second one is 3. So when I do 3-day max loss, that's it. It's like I'm done for the day. So that's how you. So you can always recoup 3 days of work, right? 3 days of an average day work. Like some days, because I add to a winner, some days I have like freaking I make what I make in a week. So um, so one thing that came out of this is I need to go back into capital uh, conserve conserve mode, and I need to only have in my day trade account. I need to only have 20 days of max RR loss, max daily losses. That way, worst case scenario, if something fucks up and I completely disobey, and I tell the broker, I'm like, forget my risk. The max I can lose is 20 days of work. You know, it's 20 days of a normal, which in theory is like it's probably a week on good days, given how big your losers to winners are, and your profit P&L ratios and things like that, profit factor. So that's been a good addition. And the other thing is that I'm supposed to keep it at that. So um, every time it gets to that, like above higher, I'm supposed to wire out. It sucks. Trade Zero charges a bit. I think it's like yeah, they charge a bit, so for wiring out. So yeah, that's that. And then what I did is another good thing is right as this happened. So this day I killed it. Like I was a robot. Here I made like right after I made like mid six figure loss. I didn't give a shit. I was like didn't like my mindset. I know when I'm triggered was not triggered. I was like fuck it, shit happens, whatever. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like I don't care. I just like I just focus on the trading. So I went along. Here I made like five figures. These 2 days I made five figures. Yeah. I made good. So I wired out. I wired out from my swing account. I made it even smaller. Even after I took the mid six figure loss, I made it smaller. And this account I also wired out. So those are the benefits. And the other thing that I want to mention is, which earlier I was trying not to, because I was trying not to be ADHD, which I potentially have, and I know I have, is there's while I keep my P&L and everything private, as traders, normal people don't understand us. Um, and what I mean by that is a person whom I consider a friend, like at personal life. I haven't seen in a while. I like to think he's a good guy. He is. And he said something that bugged me, and which is very interesting because my whole life uh, I come from a poor family and struggling family and a lot of things, but I don't want to get into it at this moment. But like, so once in a while, I write my journals and I talk about my losses and things like that. And like, this is just because I don't always want to have it on Twitter. I don't want to have Google. It's just for my own personal thing. I know nobody reads it. Like um, and what he wrote in private, he said. So we talked back and forth. He's an interesting guy. He had asked a bunch of questions, and he at first he thought I was making it to like to act cool, feel cool. But I'm very anti that, and if it was anybody else, I would just ignore it. I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'm doing it. I'm writing this. Yeah, you're right. I'm writing this to feel cool. But he was a good friend, so I was like, no, man, that's not the case. It's just for myself, blah blah blah. And then he's like, you're not telling the truth. And I was like, okay, well, here's the account statements and things for whatever reason. If anybody else asks me, like, I don't give a shit. Like many people have in the past, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fake. I'm a demo trader or whatever the hell they're saying. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So the point that I'm trying to make is this person eventually said that why are you making all these posts? Why are you sad and upset? Um, this was when I took just that UONEK loss. UONE. It was just shy of six figures. And he's like, here you are mentioning that you just lost six figures and during COVID-19 people can't make rent and things like that. And it was very interesting for me because in the era that we live in, it's I don't know how to say it, but it's like almost I could sympathize. It's like if you are rich or you have attained money, whatever, um, you can't have sorrow, you can't have feelings. Not feelings. It's tougher. What do you say? It's not so much. You shouldn't have. You can't have some crap like that, right? Like you. It felt really weird. It was almost the guy was like accusing me of being snobby, which was very interesting because I live a very poor conservative lifestyle. I drive a shitty car. I just recently I changed it, but it's like I drive the really old shitty car, and I had money. This was a time when I had like mid six figures in the bank, and I was driving a rust bucket. I had motorcycles, right? So it was a winter beater, but nobody in real life knows that like I got money and things like that. So um, it was very interesting to him to make these kind of comments. So the point is, going off tangent, is it's if you go through the shitty moment and somebody's like, "Oh, stop feeling shitty, be grateful," and things like that, it's not the case. Like, don't feel like that. It's okay to feel like shit and to express, but the average person wouldn't understand because of what we go through, right? Like, if an average person lost mid six figures, I hate to say it, but they would hurt themselves and things like that. And if, according to some perspective, it's like if you've uh, you're not, you shouldn't be complaining about uh, taking a big loss because you know this year you're above paying your rent. So just be mindful of that. Try not to hide your emotions. Um, be be open with your emotions. This is my weakness, but also um, it's okay to feel like shit when when you have a bad day. Don't try to be like, oh, it's okay, things is gonna go on, stuff like that. Oh, really long video. I apologize. An hour long. This is this is equivalent to a movie. I don't know if I should pay you guys or you guys should pay me for spending for 1 hour. But this is my journey. I hope it's helpful, beneficial. I'm gonna do a Q&A and and Twitter. So stay in touch for the other one. I hope it was beneficial. In summary, the quick recommendations that I would make is know how much you want. Don't do this for the sake of money, okay? A lot of people that I know uh, get money. And be a good person. Don't do it for the money. Um, I do it for competitive reasons. Like, in my opinion, from my experience, if you would ask me, if you do it for just for the sake of money, it's it's likely the odds are against you stacked if you are constantly thinking about money. I do it for competitive reasons. I enjoy it and a few other things. It's definitely not for money. A lot of people I know that don't do it for money. It puts the stress off of you. So just be genuine about it. The other thing is have a daily max loss and make sure your daily max loss is, if you just have one daily max loss, which every normal people have one daily max loss, make it like maximum 2 average day green winner and walk away. Like, if you take that loss, just come back the next day. It's always easier to recoup that. And some of the guys earlier on gave me advice not to diversify, and this is why I put it in my trading account. But that's not their fault. It's my fault 100%. But I mean, that's how I got here. So in my opinion, basically, it's I don't know. I don't know about diversification. I have conflict. Let me know what you guys think. A lot of the guys that I respect for, um, uh, one of the guys is like ex Merrill Lynch, who used to make 40 million, and there's another guy that makes seven figures, and there's another guy that whom I respect, and they don't know each other. Two, three of them don't know, and then the other two guys that are like make seven figures, and then they have a business 8 figure. They all told me not to diversify, and I respect it, and it does make sense, but I don't know. I mean, if you're good at something, it's not important to diversify. Uh, but yeah, at the same time, don't have all your money. If you know your weaknesses, like I know psychology is my biggest weakness, and risk management, sometimes I fuck up, and it fucking sucks. This is not the first time, second time. It happens to me a lot, and I'm so blessed for some of the other guys that are open, like my cats and cocaine trader. This is something I'm trying to minimize, right? So if this is your weakness, have money in your bank. And what I mean by that is, like, make sure, what I'm gonna try and do is, like, I'm probably gonna try and buy a house, and then the second thing is make sure I have like 6 to 8 times I can fill my account up, like in my checking account sitting there. So it's all about your weakness, right? Some people, this is not an issue, so they can have a bigger size account. Know your weakness. So that's what this is. Alrighty, officially it has crossed the 1 hour mark. I appreciate you guys listening to this long video movie session. Movie session of how to deal with the the demons and what is this? No, not wrong button. The biggest red day and the demons that come with it. So I hope it was beneficial. If it's something that you liked, you guys know I don't make money off this stuff. So what would help me is if you think this is enjoyable, if this was something that you benefited from, share it with somebody else who may benefit from this. Um, just because if it can make a difference in one person's life and they don't take that loss, or if they go through that loss, unfortunately, there's um, some people that take in their life and for the trading loss, and when we really look back and we reflect things going on in Lebanon, the bomb, or in other countries, there are like killings and shootings and war. You go outside and you have to avoid bullets, and you don't have to avoid getting dying, shred. There's a lot of things to be grateful for. So know what you want. Know what you want in life in terms of like how much dollar value you have. And another quick rampage, given it's been long anyway. If you are struggling financially, there's a very split line. So if your needs are not met, if you don't have money, if enough money to put food on the table for yourself, for your kids, for your family, money, what it will do is it will help you reduce the stress when you get that money. But after a certain point, based on statistical analysis and utility curve, in my opinion, like on average 150 to whatever a year, anything above that, it's it's relatively the same. What I'm trying to say is, if you are struggling and you're in a very crappy situation, getting money will help you reduce your stress, and it will increase the quality of your life. But anything after that, if you're chasing money and you're trying to find happiness, achieve goals, it's it's better, in my opinion, to revisit that scenario, because we have a lot of fucking things to be grateful for, and not just some at a cheesy shitty level. Um, just health wise, death wise, so many, so in so many aspects. Um, and if you are a type of person that like is chasing that money and things like that, and you're above and you have more than your needs, my suggestion is to maybe potentially go and try to do some voluntary work, or try to give back to some people that are in need, and you would like it would really, it'll help understand why we should be grateful and why we should have gratitude. um, I hope I stay around the game long enough. I sometimes I doubt myself. Yeah, I fucking doubted myself, and sometimes I still have doubts in my head. But I know, because I can meet my needs. I'm content. I'm okay. So this loss fucking sucks. It put me back quite a really long time. It'll take me a long time to get it back. I'm gonna try not to think about it. I'm genuinely gonna do my best not to think about it. But it is what it is, and it's not something that I need. So okay. All right, amigos. Yeah, share with somebody if this you think it would help them out. Have a good day. Thank you for listening to the long video. I genuinely hope it was helpful. And if you still want to listen to the Q&A, a lot of guys asked really good questions, and I want to go over that. So take care, guys.